947 Drive with Tando.
So streets in Joburg and surrounds are unusually quiet as, of course, we remain on edge during the anti-illegal immigrant protests. Television screens have been beaming all day, right? Anti-illegal immigrant protest marches throughout the country, especially where March and March movement has presence. As from this morning, you saw law enforcement has been visible on the streets. Helicopters, I think there were around 15 helicopters that were deployed.
I couldn't believe it. I want to say, at least once an hour at my house this morning, I could hear helicopters circling around, which is not an occurrence around me.
I was shocked at how much police we have. I don't think I've ever seen that amount of police out and about ever in my life.
Well, not since, what was that?
The July unrest in KZN.
No, the other one that happened afterwards, the national shutdown. Malema's thing. What was that thing? Where they told us not to come to work.
Yes, I remember that.
The national shutdown or lockdown or whatever it was.
I feel like I don't know. It wasn't to that extent. But anyway, a march to Hillbrow Police Station in Johannesburg was underway as well today. Mongezi, you are in the streets of Hillbrow. Tell us what is happening.
Very good afternoon to you, Tando and Msizi. Well, we did start off quite early at a place called Kwamamai, and this is where many of the protesters and the marchers were mobilizing before then heading across to Hillbrow, then moving to Yeoville, Berea. And this is where we saw isolated confrontations between some people who were living in the flats and the protesters. We saw people in the flats hurl rocks towards the crowd, and this then prompted the crowd to retaliate by throwing the rocks back at these people. This was quite a unique situation, I must stress, because throughout there wasn't any looting and or physical violence, but we did see these sporadic instances of confrontation between those who were protesting and those in the surrounding apartments. And then as the day progressed, we then also saw someone in a flat in Berea open fire, and this being a gun, towards the crowd, and it missed. It didn't hit anyone or hit a car. But then, of course, this it resulted in anger from the crowd, who then also started hitting the doors of that particular place and throwing rocks towards windows, etc. It is currently cordoned off. I'm stationed outside there. This is where police are investigating, trying to ascertain what exactly is going on and who was behind the gunshot of all of this. So it's quite a complex situation, but we do know that there have been no recorded incidents of physical violence and or anyone losing their lives. Okay,
so I understand there's the march to Hillbrow Police Station. Is that done? Are they done marching to the police station?
Well, it did come to an end earlier, just moments ago, actually, here at Kwamamai. And this is where we saw a majority of this group of 10,000 people, Tando, I must stress, 10,000 people were taken to the streets. It could have even been more, but then it resulted in splinter groups who spread to various places. And of course, then this is when the main procession ended. They didn't get a chance to go to the police station or to the Constitution Hill, where they were supposed to deliver a memorandum of demands. But we did see their leader, Giza Mkhunu, who addressed them here at Kwamamai and said that this was a success, but it's not clear if they've spoken to any officials or handed over anything.
Have they described what a success means, right? So is it, they didn't hand over the memorandum. Is it based on the number of people who've come out to march? What is their measure of success?
I think it's safe to assume that it's based off of the numbers, because it was quite a large crowd. But in terms of delivering their message, perhaps by maybe reaching out and providing that memorandum of demands, I don't think it was a win in that regard. But we can see that they're able to prompt such a large group to come together and protest against illegal immigration. But really, to laud it as a success is questionable, considering that no formal communication was made. But in equal breath, we should acknowledge that the leaders of these organizations and groups did meet with the president, and potentially that's where they could have handed over this memorandum of demands.
Mongezi, keep safer on the streets. That's EWN reporter Mongezi Koko.
947 Drive with Tando.